Vi går vidare i vårt program och som ni kan se här så är det dags för MenuCard. Och MenuCard är ett av de bolag som nämndes inledningsvis tidigare i morse. Ett av de bolag som just nu har ett erbjudande som ni kan få ta del av. Och det finns bland annat en teaser i den bag som ni fick när ni kom här i morse, där ni i lugn och ro kan läsa igenom erbjudandet. Men ni ges också möjlighet här att direkt till Lykke Sommer ställa en fråga. Vi hälsar honom hjärtligt välkommen med en varm applåd.
Hey. I will do this in English because I have a Danish background, so my Swedish is not that fluent. So I'll do this today in English. First of all, thank you for coming. And as Peter just said, let me see if I can. There's a slide. I'll tell you more about MenuCard. I'm Lykke Sommer. I'm the CEO for MenuCard. And I am responsible for the leading Danish restaurant program that connects actually restaurants together with businesses and their employees. And that we do through a mobile payment device, our mobile payment app, like this. And it works actually kind of like Swish does in Sweden. We have been growing a lot in Denmark, and we are now ready to initiate our international expansion. And that I'd like to tell you more about today. And during that, we also have a new share issue, as Peter just mentioned. We got listed at Aktietol in February this year, but we used the last couple of years and also the last couple of months actually to develop our service and also to develop our business model. So actually now we are ready both to accelerate our growth and also to do the first launches in Sweden and Norway. Briefly about myself and the people behind. I have been with MenuCards since December 2014. I've been there for almost 3 years now. And I have a background from the consultancy business with PricewaterhouseCoopers, where I was for about 7 years in consulting. And the last 11 years before MenuCard, I was working in procurement, which is kind of where I kind of got the experience about how difficult it can be to do manual negotiations. And that's one of the things that we are taking advantage of today. I was working at Co-op in the Nordics when there was a merger in 2004 to 2008, and after that Co-op in Denmark. Part of my time in Co-op, I was responsible for the Danish loyalty program called Co-op Plus. In Sweden it's called Sedermera. And that's kind of also one thing that's important for this. But I'll show you the business model in a second. We are a small team. We're a dedicated team of 14 people. We are, on top of that, we have our IT solution based in the Baltics, in Lithuania. And I also have a professional board that is working quite intensively with me on at least a daily business. But to explain to you more what it is we do actually in our core business, this is actually a year-long business that actually been going on for quite many years. Actually, what happens here is actually that a large number of companies for many years is doing different kind of agreements with different restaurants. And what we do is actually we digitalize this year-long tradition of negotiations between the two different sides. So if you look at, for instance, the one side where we have the companies, Nordea, for instance, had a long tradition of having between 20 and 30 different restaurants that they use for representation. So every year they negotiate, they figure out which restaurants we should dine at, and then they negotiate 7, 8, maybe 10% discount. At the other side, the restaurants have been doing this for years also. They negotiate with a lot of companies. They have between 50 and 100 different agreements from each restaurant to each restaurant. And what has been difficult for them and very chaotic is actually to renegotiate this. And if you, for instance, go to Nordea and go there before they had MenuCards, they had to go to their intranet. They had to print a voucher when they book a table. They had to print the voucher, bring it to the restaurant, and actually when they come to the restaurant, tell I'm from the deer, and then they could get maybe 7, 8, or 10% discount at the restaurant. All this has to be done while they have customers there. The same has to be done from the restaurant side. Each of the companies had different agreements. One had 7, one had 8, one had 10. One had to bring a voucher, one had to bring a special credit card, some might just bring a business card, and then they had to send an invoice for the company. Everything chaotic, everything very unstructured. What we have done actually, we digitalized this. So today everything is done through an app. Everything is done through our mobile payment device, MenuCard app. So what we have now here is, on one side we have more than 300 quality restaurants that their businesses can use. Amongst them we have several Michelin-starred restaurants. And the other side we have more than 165 large-sized companies now with more than 425,000 employees using our service. And what's very important for both sides is actually, this is discreet, this is anonymous. Before they had to bring vouchers, they had to tell that they are coming and having a special discount. Now they don't have to do anything. They come to the restaurant, they dine, and when they have to pay, they ask for the bill. The bill is put on the table and they pay through this, just like if you have a Swish solution. But through this, when you pay, you get a discount along the way. And everything there from there on is digital. That means that the payment is digital, and the receipt is digital. It's sent to your email address or to your bookkeeping. So everything is handled there. The same goes for the restaurant. Instead of waiting maybe 60 days to get payments from the large-sized companies, we pay them every second Thursday. So they are also, everything is digital for them. They don't have to send invoice. Everything is settled very easily for them, and they get the money faster than before. We built on 4 magic pillars in a quadrant like this. So for once, important for the restaurants here, they only use us, which means they only need one contact point. They negotiate an agreement with us, and we provide them access to currently 165 companies. It's a very discreet solution for them, which is also interesting. You don't have to sit in a restaurant and then show everybody else that you're providing discount for this table and not for the rest of the restaurant. So they can't see anything. They just provide a bill at the table, and then everything takes care here from the customer at the restaurant. What is important also for them is actually, this is a technical device. So this means that every company that's inside can have their individual agreement. We can actually provide different discounts for each company if the restaurant requires this. For the waiter in the top left corner, it's also important because they don't have to think, this guy is from Nordea, this guy is from PricewaterhouseCoopers, this guy is from Deloitte, which kind of agreement do they have? They just have to provide the bill for the table. Then this device takes care of the rest. This knows which agreement this different customer has at the table. So they don't have to think about this. And beside that, they can also use MenuCard now for the internal restaurant. They often has a solution where they provide maybe 50% for internal employees that works at the restaurant. For instance, the waiters or the chef, they can get a personal discount. This discount is also now handled through MenuCard. Again, on the right side, in the bottom right corner, is the leading companies. They also use MenuCard now. They also need one contact, which means they only have to do one agreement with us. They don't have to renegotiate every year. They don't have to go out and figure out which restaurants are the newest, the hottest. We take care of all this for them. So what they actually is using here is they have a buying power, and they leverage this. And when we collect buying power from 165 companies and more to come, we get a large size, a much higher buying power than they had before. So this is actually why we can provide them with a bigger and larger discount than before, because everything now is digital, there's no manual work, and we come with a large group of customers, which is kind of a procurement solution. On top of this, actually, what is interesting also for the companies, before they only negotiated, so it was for representation use only. What we do now is actually, we negotiate so they can also provide it as a company benefit for all employees in the company, which means it's not only for representation, but it's also available for every employee in the company that can use it, for instance, with their girlfriend or a husband. They can take them out to dining for private use. And that's interesting because for the employees, instead of having the vouchers and thinking about how is it that we should do when we dine at this restaurant, they only have to download the app, then they can use it, and they can use it both for business use and for private use. And on top of that, we have a very popular service. It's an event management service where we help a lot of the people in the companies when they have to book events or do different things like wine tasting and similar things. Then they just call us. We take care of everything for them. So we're having a very good relationship with all these 4 pillars in the companies. What makes this one work is that first of all, we are in very good position with the companies. When you look at them, we have a very low acquisition cost of addressing the different employees. So when you look at it from the procurement side or the financial side of the company, they have an interest of promoting MenuCard. Because the more they promote it, the more they spend through MenuCard, the more they save on the bottom line when they dine out in representation. Also from the company side, it's important for them that the HR, they would like to also promote this because this is a personal benefit that they give to all the employees. So they are also promoting. So internally in the companies, we have quite good marketing tools there, both from the procurement and from the HR that actually promotes MenuCard internally. If you know a little bit about credit cards, then our line of business, our cash flow is kind of the same as the credit card, how they work. Because when you go to the restaurant and dine, you pay through the mobile payment device here. You get the discount instantly at the restaurant, but let's say that you have a bill at the restaurant of 1,000 kroner. When you pay and you have, let's say, 20% discount, you pay 800 kroner. Those 800 kroner goes to us. So we are inside the cash flow and the transaction. And before we send the money for the restaurant, we get our fee. In this case, let's say 5%. We get 5% of the 1,000, which means that we deduct 50 kroner from the bill, send the 750 to the restaurants every second Thursday. This secures us that we are inside the cash flow, we're inside the transactions, just like the credit card works. And there we have between 4 and 5% on our transaction fees as it is currently. So this means that we're inside just like credit cards. This solution has been approved by the Danish Finanstilsynet, the Danish FSA. So it's also been approved and checked that all we do is inside the lines, and being approved by the Danish FSA means we can take it inside the EU instantly. We have the improvements we need here. What we've done now is actually we have agreements now with more than 300 attractive restaurants. We have agreements with the top level management in the companies. And what we see now is that this provides a critical mass that's interesting and important for a lot of partners. So what we have now actually, we have during 2017 now established 3 important and very interesting partnerships. I'll tell you about it a little bit in a second. But also I'd like to mention that what we can see is also from other countries, we get franchise requests now. From the Baltics, we get from Dubai, for instance. If you go to Dubai and want to do discounts at a restaurant, you get a book like this size. It's like a phone book. And inside this book there is like 1 page per side, per restaurant. It's like a coupon. So you rip out the coupon, take it to the restaurant, then you can do 25% or 2 for 1 or whatever. They would like to have this. So they've been asking, hey, could we have this in Dubai? This would be much smarter than how they do today. So there is also interest from international sides on this. But one of the partnerships we've done is with a company called Takeout. Takeout is doing kind of the same as us. They provide restaurant agreements with more than 200 quality restaurants, much like the ones we do. But our service takes people to the restaurant and dine there for representation. These guys help when you are doing overtime work, for instance. So from January till April, accountants like Deloitte, PricewaterhouseCoopers, they are working a lot of overtime, and then they need food delivered. So then they get very good quality food delivered from these guys. And what we've done actually is that we included everything inside our service. So for all the companies now, they get this extra service. Everything is settled. Every digital thing can be handled inside our service today. And on top of our current basic business, we will get between 3 and 5% of the total spend that the company used through MenuCard here. In Denmark, we have a very popular chain called Matas. It's like Sedermera. It's a local chain with more than 300 stores in Denmark. And they have a loyalty club. And it's like Sedermera, like the Core Plus that I work with in Denmark. They have 1.75 million members, and that's out of a population in Denmark on 5.7 million. And they have 94% women. And what we've seen here is that they have a very strong loyalty club inside these women. That these women can get bonus points when they use Club Matas. Club Matas has 24 partners, and from November we will be the 25th, because they today have agreements with like Orleans. They have a Danish one called Magasin. They have different partners there. But they would really like that these women could go out on cafes and get their coffee, their lattes, and get a restaurant program. So we're going to provide this restaurant program for them from the middle of November. And that will give us a large group of new customers where we will do this. It will be a white label solution. It will be a little bit different than the business solution we have today, because currently MenuCard is business to business, but this will be, we call it B2B2C, like business to consumer. And here we will also receive between 3 and 7% of the total spend that goes through this. Last but not least, we have the third partnership we've done this year is with a large-side gift card supplier. They're called GoGift. They are owned by Egmont or Nordisk Film behind them. And they are actually based in all 4 countries in the Nordics: Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Finland. Yeah. And what they do actually is they provide a gift card solution for, it's called Super Gavekort, the Super Gift Card, where you can go in, you pick this from, if you're a company and you want to give a gift card for your employees or your customers, you go in here and you buy 1,000 of these Super Gift Cards. These Super Gift Cards can be converted to, like Orleans or the Matas, the Sedermera. You can choose that you want to use this gift card there. But for them, it's very difficult to go and negotiate with all the restaurants. They would also have that these gift cards could be used at restaurants. So this we're going to do for them. So we're going to provide them with a solution where they can use the gift cards on restaurants also. And this gives us actually access to more than 7,000 corporate customers in the Nordics. So this has been very interesting for them and very difficult for them to access the restaurants. So sum up our current business model. Basically what you can see here is the bottom layer, the blue one, is our current basic business model actually. We have the 300 quality restaurants, including a lot of different quality restaurants, a few Michelin star too. We have 165 large-sized companies, 10 of the 20 largest listed on the stock exchange in Copenhagen. And we have then on top the partnerships that I just told you about. So we have additional 200 quality restaurants coming in through takeout. We have GoGift with more than 7,000 Nordic companies buying and using gift cards through them. And we also access 1.7 million members through the Club Matas. All of this, which will be very interesting and highly profitable when we add this on top of the current basic MenuCard business. So what we are aiming at now with additional funds, we will accelerate our growth in Denmark to reach break-even actually in 2018 in Denmark. We are currently looking at other Nordic metros. We aim for bigger, larger cities like Gothenburg, like Malmö, like Stockholm, like Oslo, Helsinki. We're aiming to enter those markets in the next coming years. And then from there on, we expect to expand to the Northern Europe. And why do we take it like this? We do that because the market is ready for mobile payment solutions. I went to Italy, to Milan in June, just to check out how ready they were. I spoke with a couple of restaurants, a couple of companies there. And to be honest, more than 50% of everything in Italy is cash. The rest is credit card. They looked at me like I was from, I don't know, the moon or something when I showed them this and told them we could pay through it. They weren't ready for it in Italy yet. But our expectations is that the Nordic markets already know about this. Everybody here probably have tried Swish or heard about Swish. No, this is future. And we can see the same when we go to the northern Germany. They're ready for it. England is not there yet, but they will be inside the next coming months or the next year. And then from there on, we will expand throughout Europe. That's the plan for now. What we've seen is that we now are partnering with all the large size in every market. So what we have now inside our corporate partners is that we now partnered with these 165 large companies. What we do now is actually we try to get a deeper usage inside the company, also wider use, which means we would like to have more people that use it in the company. So we both want more users in the companies and we want them to use it more often. On top of that, of course, we also trying to get more and more companies coming in, and that goes quite well at the moment. So what we can see also is that through takeout and this solution, we add extra value. So instead of only being attractive when they have to dine out, we're suddenly also getting attractive when they have to do overtime or dine at home. We leverage our restaurant program. The access to more than 300 restaurants is interesting for partners like GoGift for the Club Matas. And then we can see now, when I started 3 years ago, we had some basic restaurants. But we had to go and knock on each restaurant's door to ask them, please be part of this. And with 165 companies now, it's much, much easier to knock on the restaurant's door. And actually what we see now is that more of these restaurants come and knock on our door now and ask, could we be part of this since you have this big buying power behind you? And what we've seen is that a lot of our companies, a lot of our restaurants, and also our partners like Takeout and GoGift, they're international. For instance, the Danske Bank Nordea is based in the Nordics. So we have a Nordic agreement with Nordea. They have 33,000 employees in the Nordic territory. So they keep asking me, when do you come to Oslo? When do you come to Stockholm? When do you come to Helsinki? When do you come to Gothenburg and help us here? Because we have dining out here with our employees. It's fine that you can help us in Denmark, but we'd like you to help us also in the Nordics. So they are actually knocking our doors, asking us, come and help us also in the other territories. The same goes, for instance, with MASH, which is a steak restaurant we have that is based in Denmark, it's based in London, it's based in Hamburg, and they're opening in Düsseldorf this year too. Takeout is based in 7 territories as it is now. They're based here in Sweden, they're based in Norway, they're based in the Baltics and in the UK, together with Denmark. And the same with GoGift, that are based in the 4 Nordic countries. On top of that, we expect also the franchise can help us also establish ourselves internationally. For 2 years we've been growing and we have a significant growth rate. The service has been developed. Our business model has matured during the last 2 years. So actually what we have now is we have built our whole solution. Our cost level is now stable. So it's like opening an amusement park. We built everything, all the attraction is ready. Now we need to invite more people in. Everything is ready to rock and roll, and we just need more people to come in and use the attractions. So this is actually the level where we are now. Now we are ready to grow. And what we can see is also we had a very strong growth in our usage and our turnover during the last 12 months. So capacity is ready, and we're ready to invite more people in. And that's actually why we're looking for the funding as it is now. If we look against our pathway to break even, which we expect to be in 2018 for the Danish market, then we will establish our growth in our basic businesses. This is important. This is not the partnerships that I mentioned before. This is just our basic business that will provide this. So leveraging our new strategic partnerships will be on top. But currently we have 16,000 active users on MenuCard. We aim to reach 52,000 next year. And I don't know how often you dine out, but what we need is that they go out 3.5 times per year. That's basically it. They don't need to do more. They need to spend 1,000 kroner, Danish kroner per visit. That they already do in average, we can see. And we need to make 4.2% in average in our fee. That is roughly what we do now. That will provide us with an annual revenue of MenuCard revenue of almost 7 million Danish kroner. And what we aim at, just to put this in perspective, we aim at having 500 restaurants next year. And what happens here is that each restaurant needs 1 visit from MenuCard every day. That's it. Then we become profitable. So that's basically it. And if you go out and dine, you see how many customers they have. Just 1 of them needs to be from MenuCard every day. Then we are home. And if you then multiply this with 2 or 3, and think about our system. The system is built, everything is ready, we can have more capacity. It can easily be more. So this we are ready for. So to conclude, we have established a solution that is now the leading marketplace. We are established, we are ready to grow at a good pace. We are working with the leading restaurants, inside that a few Michelin starred. We are working with the leading businesses, and we have also attracted some very leading and interesting partnerships. We are focusing now on usage, which means we need deeper usage, we need wider usage in more companies, and we are ready now to initiate our first international rollout. And I will be available outside if you have any questions afterwards. I'm sure Peter also will help now, but otherwise I'll be outside afterwards during the break and also during the lunch if you have any questions. So thank you for your time.
Questions? Ja, vi har en där nere. Varsågod.
Tack, bra presentation. Fråga, ni har ju varit framgångsrika i Danmark, framförallt Köpenhamn. Ja.
Okay.
Utrullningen i Sverige, tror du den kommer funka likadant? Eller ser du möjligtvis kulturella skillnader? Hur analyserar ni det och hur ser ni på det?
Is it okay if I answer in English?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Basically, to be honest, I feel that we should have started in Sweden. I came in when their solution was already running in Denmark. But when I was working in the Nordics for Co-op, I went here very often. And in Denmark we have a cantina. We go inside for lunch. We dine in the companies for lunch. That I never tried in Sweden. We always had these food coupons. Rikscoupon, yeah. That we always used. Instead of having those, this could be digitalized, used here. So my experience with the Swedish territory and the Swedish culture is actually that you dine out much more than we do in Denmark. So I would be very happily to go to the Swedish market. What I also can say is that we have a lot of larger customers already. Nordea is one of them, Telia is one of them, Disney is one of them, all based in Stockholm. And we would love to go there. They keep asking us, come and help us, because we have the same need in Sweden, and actually it's bigger because of also the lunches where you eat out. So no, I'm not so worried about that part. Actually, I would like to start here as soon as possible.
Thank you. En ytterligare fråga?
Yeah.
How much resources have you put in so no one could hack your system?
I don't know. That's a tricky question to answer. Well, to be honest, we have technical resources behind it that spend resources on this. But telling you that it can't be hacked would probably be not very honest, because when I see what else can happen in the world, I can tell that we've done everything we can. We have a solution that is, for instance, the credit cards are handled by a provider that have legal rights to handle credit cards. We have credit cards inside, but we don't have them. They are with a company that can handle credit cards. On the technical side, we have a partner that is very skilled in this, but telling you that they can never be hacked, I can watch the wall today and see everything seems to be hacked. But we haven't had any trouble with it so far. But I don't want to promise you anything, because you can see Amazon, you can see all of them. They kind of everything can be hacked, it looks like.
Okay, thank you. Another question?
Will it be available for private use and only not only companies?
Will it be available for private use?
Yeah.
That it is already.
Oh, I thought it should go through the companies.
Oh, then, okay. Inside the companies, it's available for private use. In Denmark, we now start with this loyalty program called Club Matas. It would be interesting to have a similar thing with Sedermera or something similar in Sweden, where you can provide this service also for private use, but through a business partner.
Okay. Thank you very much for taking the time to come here, Kim. And you will be available for more questions afterwards if needed, right?
Definitely, and also you can look at the teaser in your material today.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.